First Liberty Institute.
Juan is now going to speak to her guests on the EBOMD phone lines. I'm Tony Thompson. To you, EBO.
Thanks, Tony. The Ukrainian Catholic Church is appealing a ruling allowing unlawful double standard in zoning decisions. You know, Catholic churches all over the world, we're just having to fight the good fight because they make fun of us in movies. They don't portray us correctly. They don't even have Jesus on the cross. They have idiots with weird robes. It's just like everybody can mock the Catholic Church, say something about Islam. Everybody craps the bed. Senior Counsel Ryan Gardner is here to chat about what's happening in the Ukraine. Hi, Ryan.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Doing well, and hoping for justice for our client, the Holy Trinity Ukrainian Catholic Church.
Yeah, what's going on there? What are they trying to do?
So let's start at the top here with this little township of Collier in Pennsylvania. They treat churches, all churches for that matter, like second-class citizens. In their zoning ordinance, property owners have the right, at least somewhere in this community, to do basically anything they want, unless you're a church. If you're a church, you have to apply for a special permit and get special permission from the township just to exist. And so that's where we start the whole thing here, which is facially unconstitutional. I mean, this is very clearly established law that you cannot treat churches like second-class citizens. We went through that with COVID, if you remember.
Yeah.
But that's what their zoning ordinance does. And here, my client, they have a piece of property that's been in their religious tradition for actually over 50 years, and it's had a long-time use as a cemetery. In addition to that, they wanted to create a shrine where members of the Ukrainian Catholic faith can come and pray and just engage in those sorts of religious worship, and in addition to any sorts of memorial activities related to the cemetery. And they were shot down by this township.
But let's have a political riot, and that's perfectly fine, right?
Exactly. And here's the crazy part: the place where they chose it, it's right up the road from this huge, several 10,000 square feet trade union, a carpenter's complex. And at this place, they are allowed to hold union meetings and political rallies. I mean, believe it or not, Joe Biden on the campaign trail went to this carpenters union and had a fairly sizable campaign event. All of that was perfectly fine with the township, but the thought of these Catholics coming in and building their own place to gather and engage in religious activities, that was just not to be allowed by this community. And my client actually tried to compromise. They came back with a very scaled back, wanting a very modest chapel, and this township still came down on them and said, okay, we can have it, but it's got to be even smaller than what you could ever practically use it for anybody. And oh, by the way, if you want to use this for memorial services, you cannot memorialize anyone who died after an arbitrary date. I believe it was sometime back in June of last year. You cannot memorialize anybody who died before that period of time. And if you know anything about Catholic liturgy, every single service that they do at every Mass, they memorialize the saints. I mean, that's one of the things they do. That is a very important and sacred thing.
I'm very, very Catholic, just so you know.
Oh, yeah.
So this is pissing me off.
That.
Yeah, this is really pissing me off. Because, I mean, if you can't memorialize the saints and you can't say the Hail Mary and you can't pray the Our Father and you can't memorialize anybody who died before June 1st, I mean, that's ludicrous. This, you know what, though? It's Pennsylvania. I mean,
it's insane.
Yeah.
And they also restricted the ringing of bells, which is another very sacred thing in the Catholic tradition.
Always,
I mean, you
got to ring the bell. The Mass is starting.
Exactly. And so I said, you can only do that at certain times, only for so many minutes, because, you see, bells are too noisy. Not the international airport right next to there. Like, that's not a problem. That noise from the airplanes is fine. But it's those bells that are really the problem here.
Oh, my goodness.
And so, as you might suspect, we've actually dug in and did a little bit of discovery in this case and deposed some of the decision makers on this. And what that testimony revealed, it should be shocking, but unfortunately, given everything else they've done, it's not overly shocking. Part of the reason they denied it is that this church happened to have pro-life views, and this township thinks that they have the right to ban people from the community based upon their religious views.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so sick of stuff like this. I'm so sick of stuff like this. This is America. Now, if they wanted to do the call to prayer for Islam, I bet these guys would be too scared to say anything.
I mean, you never know, but what's happening here is wrong and cannot be allowed to continue.
So where are we at with it?
What we are at is, unfortunately, the district court ruled against us and did not find this evidence persuasive. And so we are immediately seeking an emergency appeal at the Third Circuit Court of Appeals and hoping to get an injunction to stop this kind of unlawful activity immediately.
So this is like the restrictions are, I mean, that you can't have enough, it's not big enough for them to even hold a ceremony because they said it has to be smaller than, what, 200 people, 100 people?
It was based on square footage. Basically, there was a sort of mausoleum already on site, as would be in many cemeteries across the country. They said basically whatever structure you build has to be smaller than that.
Oh, so like a fitness center. So we have to be as small as a fitness center.
Yeah.
You see, we have to have 3 masses on Sunday to get everybody in, and that's, they're full every single time. I can't even imagine trying to fit everybody in a space that size. That's
Exactly.
crazy. Anyway, where do people go to learn more about this? This is insane.
Well, you can go to firstliberty.org to find out about this and all of the other cases that we have going on. And unfortunately, we're very busy, which means there's a lot of problems in this country, but we're fighting every day to spread freedom for all Americans to live out their faith.
Senior Counsel Ryan Gardner from First Liberty. Here's the bells for my church. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Yeah,
It is. I love it.
Those are the bells from my St. Mary's Cathedral. So, everybody else, go Catholics! Woo! I like Methodists. I like all y'all. I don't care what religion you are. You should be able to gather and praise God in whatever way you see fit. I don't care what you do as long as you act like an American while you do it. Ryan, thank you for being on the show today.
My pleasure.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.